Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we have a new Gourmande Girl palette that just came out. I'm super excited to share this with you guys. This palette is really up my alley. I love me some multi-chromes, and this is a multi-chrome palette. This is a 6-pan palette, and the artwork was done by Christina herself, the owner of Gourmande Girls. This is the Galactic Gourmande, and it looks like this here. I've already done swatches, so this is the palette, the multi-chromes. We're going to just swatch it really quickly onto my hands, and then we're going to take a look at it, and then I'm going to decide which colors I'm going to use in this look. And I wanted to show you guys that you can do an all shimmer look. I know that there's these series of rules that are out there that we should follow and only use shimmers as just one single addition to a whole matte look, but that's not necessarily true.
And I'm a little bit of a makeup rebel, so
we're going to do an all shimmer look.
We don't need no stinking mats. Who needs some stinking mats? We don't need them.
So, beautiful palette. We're going to do an all shimmer look. It's multi-chromes. What more could you ask for? If you're interested in this, just keep watching. I'm so glad that you guys decided to stay. Now we're going to get into this palette and do some swatches of these. And I love the greens, the purples, and then you even have this pop of like reddish orange multi-chrome goodness. So I'm going to swatch on the inside of my hand. It's just easier for me to get the light to reflect with multi-chromes. And so the one thing that whenever I was doing the swatches on these earlier, the one thing that I want to caution you about is don't go in heavy-handed trying to get a swatch or trying to get your brush in there, because these are very soft and they are going to move and separate on you if you go in with a heavy hand. So I'm going to go in with Luna first, and I'm going to get that up on my finger and show you this beautiful shade here. It's not a topper, it's more of a shadow, very reflective, very foiled, kind of has like a red underbase. It reflects like a blue and mint green. It's kind of picking up a gold bronzy look even on camera, but in person I definitely see almost a pink, a green, a blue, and then like a reddish pink undertone. Very, very pretty. Kind of like an oil slick. That's what it reminds me of, is an oil slick. And then the next one is the one that you really have to be careful with, super soft shadow, which is good. Like, that's not a bad thing. It's just super soft. You just got to know it before you dip your fingers into it. And that is M81. There's a gal that helped Christina name these. Her name is Kerry. She has a YouTube channel. She is on Instagram. I will link her information in the description box. I am a affiliate, and I do have a code for 10% off with Gourmande Girls. My code is code Debutawn. I am just so appreciative to you guys when you guys use my codes. It means a lot to me. That will save you a little extra money. I'll put all the information for you down in the description box. That way, if you're wanting to pick up this palette, you'll have that code available for you. All right, so this one is M81. And that one there is a little bit more see-through, but very reflective. It has pink. I mean, like if I'm holding my hand like this, it's just pink. And then if I hold it up like this, it kind of has like a berry tone. And then you turn it and it's blue. So very, very pretty. And then we're going to go into Celestial. That is gorgeous. Very smooth shadows, very pretty. All right, so that one shifts blue and teal and purple, and that is very pretty, a solid shade. It's not sheer, it's very solid, and just, it's gorgeous. It reflects gorgeous. And then we're going to go into Comet, and it is gorgeous. Oh, I love the way that shifts. That's so pretty. Okay, so that is so stinking pretty. Okay, so green to this pinkish purple to blue shift. Oh, gorgeous. I don't know if I have another shade just like that one. That is very unique to my collection. And I have quite a few multi-chromes. And then Sirius. Very pretty. You can tell this one is definitely a more solid shade. Very pretty. And then Europa, and that's Europa, and that's a fire orange and red. It's like pink, red, and orange. Okay, I'd love to get out a mirror and just see if you guys, yeah, so you can see. All right, now looking at this, kind of getting my game plan, I'm going to try to use as many as I can because that's always fun, but I want to be able to show you the colors as much as possible. I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to prime my eyes. You'll be zoomed in when you get back, and we're going to hop right into this look. Okay, you're all zoomed in.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to use a flat brush at first. Just so you know, I actually primed my eyes with the Death and Candy Jelly Base. I just primed my eyes with that because my good friend, my soul sister, Nikki Raven, she has a YouTube channel. I'll link her down below also. Please go check her out. Us with our hooded eyes have a lot of creasing, a lot with like shimmer shadows. We're finding out that layering that either over matte shadows or whatever and then putting the shimmer down, it creates a lot less creasing. Since I'm doing an all shimmer look, I thought, let me just prime my entire eye with this and let's give it a go. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to go in with Serious with a flat brush at first. We'll try a couple of different techniques. If I don't like the flat brush, we'll move on to something else. But I'm going to start with a flat brush and pick up some of the pigment, and we're going to put this on the outer edge of the eye. Not really liking how that, I like to use my fingers with these kind of shimmer shades. But I have longer nails on right now. I want to give it a go with some brushes because I know that some people dislike using their fingers for their eyeshadow. So I also try to do it a couple different ways to see what works out best for the shadow also. Just so you know, I'm going to go in with a little bit more fluffier brush and give that a go and see what we get there. Okay. And I think the fluffier brush will work whenever I'm wanting to kind of blend them. But I know what we need. If I have longer nails on and don't use my fingers, the best thing for these shimmer shadows by far, I just wanted to try these other two first to see if it's going to give me the pigmentation that I'm looking for. But when all's fails and actual brushes are not the best for this formula and you can't use your fingers, then sponge tip applicators. They are the best. I was going to save that for last just so I could try the other application process. This is where it is at. Okay, now you can see what I have going on there between the two brushes, and then you get the sponge tip applicator out and whammo. That's what we're looking for. This is the best way it performs, is with this kind of application. So yes, this is the way that I wanted it to turn out. So I am a full pigmentation girl. I like the full pigmentation to show up on my eyes. I don't necessarily want a thin coat of it. I want how it looks in the pan. That's how I want it to show up on my eyes. I mean, I haven't tried it with this particular one, but I have used shadows that are just like this. So you can blend the edges. You can go back in with the brush. You can blend out the edges. And whenever you're talking about an all shimmer look, that's how you keep something that is all shimmers from looking like a very unblended look, you know? You soften it by just hitting the outer edges. So you'll notice I'm going to take this up quite a bit higher. I'm going to even take it out a little bit further. And the reason why I do that is I'm not going to leave those lines of color there. I'm going to buff those edges out whenever I go back in and soften up the look. I just place the color down right now where I want it. And then we'll go back in and do those little finishing touches. Now I'm going to go in with Celestial. And I'm going to put Celestial right next to that one. So pretty. I know this is galaxy themed, but it's giving me all kinds of mermaid vibes. Gorgeousness. So pretty. Put that into each other. Kind of got to combine the two. And you can go back and forth and kind of get that blended where you want it. Super excited. Okay, and now I think I'm going to go into Luna. Now, you don't have to use this palette just as it is. This would be an amazing companion palette to any palette. So any palette that you do not have multi-chromes in, let's just say you have one of the Juvia's Place palettes and you're doing a look and you just want to add something to it. Break out this, use it as a companion palette, and add an extra pop to the look that you wouldn't get otherwise. Also, if you're like me, and I have a palette that is monochromatic. I don't like monochromatic looks. I don't like all one color. I like a little bit of depth and mixture of the colors together in my eye looks. And so if you have a monochromatic palette and you want to add something to break up like all one color look, adding a multi-chrome just sets off the look. now I'm going to go into M81. I'm going to take that up and I'm going to put that right in the center of this look, right on top of where that green is at. Just add another layer. And what that did is, see how that's like green and then you see the blue, and like that just kind of combined it. And I just put it right in the center on the lid, and you can't see the color of the actual shadow, but boy, it just blends right in with the rest of the shadows. And I think it just combines those three shadows together really nicely. So stinking pretty. So pretty. Okay, see how easy that was? Super, super easy, quick look. Now, I'm going to clean up around here. I don't have any foundation on or anything like that, so I will put that together, but we're going to do the shimmers on the lower lash, and we'll try to use some of the ones that we haven't used already. Before I clean up the underneath, though, I do need to go back in with the fluffy brush. I still have a little bit of shadow on there, and I'm just going to go around the edges, and we're just going to blow those out a little bit. Now, you're just taking it really light, and I'm just going to go around the edges of the blue for now, because I don't want to really mix them right yet. Let's see how that softens the sides out. So there's not like a real definite hard line there. Now, if you're noticing how like this kind of comes over and then like that is kind of missing, you can, just pick up your brush. Again, you just need a little bit more pigment up in there, like that there. And then just take it and start moving that, like that there. Getting it to kind of look more softer around the edges. And really, you're not getting into that shadow. You're not coming into where that blue is. You're really just slightly taking that outer edge and just softening it. Because if you go in too far, then you're going to be breaking up that multi-chrome shadow. And that's the whole point of the look, And so I'm going to very lightly come in and do that all the way around. But I wanted to do that blue first. So nice and soft around the edges. This just reminds me, it looks like a mermaid gemstone kind of vibe right now to me. Like it's just gorgeous. I'm just going to clean up the face really quick, and then we'll do the underneath side and then do the rest of our makeup. Okay, so underneath the eye, we're going to not use a sponge tip applicator, even though we could like use the side or just the tip. What I'm going to do is I spray all my shadows underneath my eyes, and so typically I'll use something that looks a little bit like this for matte shadows. Even when I spray my matte shadows, this is something that I would use, but I think for what I am doing, I'm going to use like a small pencil brush. I'm going to take the pigment up onto this little brush, and then I'll spray it, and then we're going to take it underneath. I'm going to go into Celestial. I really just don't think I want to use this one here with the look, because I don't really want to mix the reds with the blues. I think it would take away, so I think I'm going to take Celestial, and I'm going to run it all the way underneath. And then I haven't used Comet yet, but I kind of want to use Comet in the inner corner and right here in the center on top of this green here. So that's what I'm going to try. So I'm just taking the pigment up onto my brush. I'm going to spray it and then drag it underneath. Yeah. And these shadows work really nicely being wet. So that's good to know. Anytime you spray your shadows, whether they be mattes or a shimmer, it's going to give you the maximum color payout. And with my experience with mattes, spraying mattes, or with shimmers, they just seem to last longer. And instead of dragging it completely over, I'm going to start just by putting it in the inner corner and on the outer corner, like that there. And then I'll determine if I want to take it all the way across or not. It's not like I planned this out or anything, or that I'm trying to create a specific look. I just kind of go with whatever I feel like doing. I'm going to go ahead and go into Comet, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to spray and then just put it in that center part of my eye. Oh, I can't believe I didn't use Comet, because Comet was the one that kind of blew me away with the coloring. It's something different than what I'm used to. Ooh, and that was a little bit more sheer whenever I swatched it, but when I spray it, it really does amp up the opacity of it. So that's good to know if you're using it on your lid also, you see that? Like it really makes it more a solid color instead of sheer. Very pretty. I love it. Very pretty color. I think that's my favorite shade out of this palette. Great. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. That is so stinking pretty. I love that. I love that shade. Right, so we have this all together. I'm going to come back with a full face on, and I'm going to pick out an eyeliner with this look. I'll go over a little bit about what all I used off camera. I will see you guys just in a few. Okay guys, this is my final look. I love this palette. I'm going to get a lot of good use out of this palette. The shadows are just gorgeous. They're nice and rich. I also want to turn down the lights and show you the reflection of this, because right now it just kind of looks like a shimmer, but I mean, you can kind of see the reflection of these multi-chromes, but I'm going to turn down the lights and get up close to the camera so that you can see the reflections better. Okay, so a little bit lower light. I still have my box lights on, but just so you can see how reflective these are. So pretty. Okay, and I'm going to turn off a little bit more and get a little bit darker. Okay, so again, so that you can see the full shift. And also, if you're in sunlight, it's going to be even more reflective. Sometimes the camera just does not portray exactly how much reflection are on these shadows whenever they're multi-chromes. But these are very, very nice multi-chrome for sure. It's a nice multi-chrome for a very, very nice price point. You're getting 6 shadows for $34.99, and I think that is fantastic. And then I paired it up with a lippie. I did the Buxom Lippie, and this is in shade Vava Plump. It has a little bit of a tingling to it, but I lined my lips with the Kiko Milano in that shade 03 and paired up beautifully with this lippie. It's the first time I've used this lip liner. In the inner corner, I use the Gourmande Girls Glitter Flakes, and this is in Seychelles, and I put that in the inner corner. On my highlighter and my highbrow, I used the Bold and Brilliant by Gourmande Girls, and my favorite combination is mixing these two together, and it kind of gives this icy pink highlighter, but you also have these warm tones over here too if you're more into a warmer highlight. On my cheeks, I am wearing a Gourmande Girl blush, and this is in shade Shock, which is hilarious because my maiden name was Shock, but with a C, so I love the blush. It is super bright. It looks bright, but you go in lightly and you start out towards the back and then you just blend. And the color is just beautiful. Love the color of this blush. And then on the lower lash line, I did go ahead and use a blue mascara. And in the waterline, I used the P. Louise Acid Rain in shade Nitro. And then right in the center to kind of do that same teal blue with the green, I did a little bit of the Neon Shockwave liner from LA Girls right in the center there. And my foundation is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I'll have Gourmande Girls information down below. When I was trying these on and I was like, you know, it reminds me, when I saw this palette, the first picture, I thought it looked familiar and I was like, I wonder if the formula is going to be similar. And sure enough, whenever I was trying these on, I'm like, yes, this reminds me of a Saint Angels and Sinners palette. So the Saint Angels and Sinners, they have, really, really beautiful shades also. And so I wanted to point that out since this is Gourmande Girls' first multi-chrome palette. If you like the formula of Saint Angels and Sinners, if you have bought from Saint Angels and Sinners before, you're going to really love this one too. So I just wanted to put that out there because I'm comparing the quality and they're very, very similar. So if you like that, you will like this also. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope that you guys all have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.